The question is, can flat earthers really make me believe that flat earthing is an actual thing? I don't know. I think to everyone the world is round. But that being said, maybe, just maybe, I'll be convinced that the earth is flat or a disc, or I don't know. So let's see. Shall we do this? I just don't think for a minute that I can believe that the earth isn't round. But let's see if I'm proved wrong.
If you think that is the shape of your point to it now.
Okay, so 3 people think it's the regular. This is crazy that people would think this.
It's like we have this picture of reality that's a big puzzle piece, and then one of those pieces
the dog's barking.
just wasn't fitting.
I'm always open to having a discussion with someone who
Okay, again,
is holding
scientists versus flat earthers. Scientists.
I'd like to tear them to pieces.
I'm Jim Underdown, Executive Director of the Center for Inquiry West in Los Angeles and the chair of the CFI Investigations Group.
I'm
All
Spencer
right.
Marks, one of the senior members of the CFI Investigations Group, Science Advocate.
I'm
Okay.
Marina Yeri. I'm a theoretical physicist. And
You can't fuck with these people.
I'm a Chief Learning Officer for a young startup.
I'm Shelley Lewis. I'm a graduate of West Point, critical thinker, and jumped out of airplanes.
My name is Dan Glatman. I work as Dan the Waterman.
Oh, that's
in the
right.
drinking
Dan
water
the
filtration
Waterman!
industry. I'm a truth seeker.
Can I just say really quickly, and we watched a tiny bit of this before my laptop died like weeks ago. We have scientists that have actual like jobs. And I don't want to say that because I don't want to be mean. If you believe the earth is flat, then I get that. We're having people who heavily have studied science and are working at universities and things like that. And then we've got people like, I like water. Again, Dan the man, no offense, but also like, I like water. This feels so dramatic the way they filmed this as well. I believe the earth was created by a higher power. Here come the flat earthers.
Well, I've been a Christian for 30 years, so the Bible is a flat earth book. You have to take it literally. Like, for example, in Isaiah, when it talks about how the earth is like a clay wax seal that's stamped with upturned edges, that's just not some fancy story. That's a simile. It is like.
Right? Absolutely. And in Isaiah talks about too, and I'm a Christian, he who sits upon the circle of the earth. There's a difference between a circle and a ball.
There's over 200 scriptures in the Bible that point to a flat earth.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say.
So this notion that you need God or some higher power to create the earth or the universe is very old and was initially posited by people of a pre-scientific age.
Yeah,
Since
pre-scientific.
then,
I can take that into
we have learned
account.
quite a bit about the universe coming into existence, when that happened.
Yeah,
Modern
like these
humans
were stories
don't get their
before we
cosmology,
knew
they
anything
don't
about
get their
this,
physics,
right?
they
Like
don't get
before
their
satellites,
knowledge of the
before old
universe.
bits.
But there's so many other writings and so many other books, so why weren't they correct? Why is just the Bible correct?
those are religious books. Those are not books of science. And it is wrong to
How's that? Is that
infer
better?
or deduct scientific readings out of those books.
That's a really good point.
So I actually got to the point where I had to go out and put my own eyeballs on it.
What, eyeballs on the
we went
earth?
out, to an observation at Salton Sea, and things just didn't add up down there. So we've gone back
Like
probably
what?
a dozen times, and I can guarantee you that there is no curvature over distance.
Okay, there's no curvature over distance. Here's the thing. If flat earthers need science and stuff like that, why can they not go to the ends of the earth, the ends of the disc? Like, I don't understand why they can't go there. No one's been there. There's no documented footage or evidence of going there. When you think like, oh, I feel like a bit of an idiot that I can't, like, no one's been there. Where is the big ice wall? King of the Louvre.
Well, we have the advantage of information today that's outside of channels 2, 4, and 7 and the few networks that are corporately owned. It's pretty easy
Okay.
to say YouTube isn't research. But when you spend enough time, you're picking up quite a bit. And with the discussion groups, panels, we've gone against opposition. We've opposed ourselves. Surprisingly enough, flat Earth is its own worst enemy. So it's not that easy for us to come to consensus.
Okay, so these
And we
seem
find
like
that
logical
consensus
people
is
that are
orchestrated
saying, you
and
know,
not
we've
actually
tried to ask
scientific in
ourselves,
any
is
way.
it actually?
It's like,
But
you know,
also,
how much of this misinformation
where's
are
the
you getting
science?
there?
There's
And
no
when you have,
science.
like,
They haven't given us
eyewitnesses taking video
a little bit of
something,
science.
You do have to take everything with a grain grain of salt.
I agree with
That's
him on
why
that.
the,
Sure,
my
dude.
multimedia background, I knew that all that stuff could be faked. Take it into Photoshop, take it into After Effects.
Yeah, anything can be faked. So Chris Hadfield's just faking being in the sky?
Okay, this is at the core of the issue of why there are so many flat Earth
All right, tell us,
believers
James.
out there.
Tell us, baby.
Right now.
Tell us,
The
tell
problem
us.
is the information from someone who decides to start a website or produce a YouTube video is not reliable. When I have a toothache, I go to a dentist. When my car breaks down, I go to a mechanic. When you have questions about cosmology, you should go to an astrophysicist, you should go to CIS, you should go to people who have spent years and years studying these ideas. Not some 6-minute YouTube video. There is a percentage of people
I like
that if they
that.
saw a YouTube
I
video
like that.
that was not within their scientific chops to refute on the face of it, would believe anything out there.
One of the things I will say is NASA.gov has their own documents out there that we get to vet, which is through the Freedom of Information Act.
Love
And
that.
would you agree that NASA documents, if they're on display, that we should be able to go and research inside there?
NASA is not proving that the Earth is flat.
Yeah, they're
Say
not.
14 of the
You
documents.
should read what NASA says, and you should listen to what
I
NASA
would
says.
love to see your NASA evidence that the Earth is
What?
It's only their contradictory issues
Okay,
that
let's
bring
see.
us here.
NASA thinks the world is flat?
Photo, right? The Earth is rising over the moon. We're all familiar with it. That's NASA. You can go out to NASA's site.
What
you can
the
download
flying frying
original.
pan is
Right.
happening right now?
So you bring up the luminance on it, and you can see where it's cut out and pasted there.
They're showing us doctored images that are clearly doctored.
Okay, they have
the
an
blue
issue.
marble is a very famous image from 1972. When you talk to the artist from NASA, his name is Robert Simmons, he talks about exactly how it was created from data, and it's not a photograph whatsoever. He added
what?
clouds.
Let me explain.
He added
Hold
a
on.
highlight of the
If you
sun.
take your
I just gotta stop. Here's the thing. If NASA has, 14 documents she was saying that says the world is flat, why doesn't NASA just go with the Earth being flat? Like, I don't understand why the shape of the Earth should be debated. Like, wouldn't NASA be like, oh yeah, it's flat. It has been this whole time. Lol. Like, there's no point holding it as a secret. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would people keep this a secret? Why would people keep the Earth being flat a secret if everyone knew? They're like, you know what? We're just going to keep this one under wraps. What purpose does it serve?
Most phones have that panoramic image.
Yeah.
When you do that, you're taking a series of pictures, and the phone cleverly stitches
I'm
that
just
together.
saying how it's
Hold on.
presented. It's
Hold on.
presented as a real
So
photograph.
when NASA takes real photos and they either clean them up for color or they stitch them together so it's one large image, it doesn't mean they're CGI.
You're talking about composites.
I don't know what composites are.
You could even get me into a virtual construct if I can't find the borders
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. That's what I want to know. Where are the borders?
It
Find
appears to me
them.
to be
Go
a
to them.
stationary
Make a
plane,
YouTube on them.
As opposed to the vastness of infinity of space, I would find it to be an
Okay,
ice
so
plane
it's-
where we
it's
have a localized
flat.
sun and our environment thrives there. You know,
Okay.
We've been suppressed, censored by mainstream media. Alternative media is it's
I
just a thing
don't
of
know
beauty
why
for
the
me.
mainstream media would get their kicks out of lying about the Earth is round. Other things I totally understand, like there's so many things the media lies about, but that I'm like, why would you lie about that? That doesn't
Well,
make
they
sense to
certainly think
me.
they're educated.
And they're following quite
They
a bit
are,
of
they're
the university system, what we call scientism.
Right, scientism.
Obviously, is the belief in
Scientism.
what's written.
Have you
Well, we
heard
tend
of
to
that
be
word
exploring-
before?
On a large scale, the government has been disingenuous, and they're.
I mean, government is always
pushing a narrative,
disingenuous, but
right? So it's
about
hard
the
for us.
Earth.
I mean, I'm
What do
sure
they
that
get
you know
out of
people
it,
too.
being
like,
that
what,
it's
are
round?
you
Why?
just- you
What
haven't
did the
looked
government
into it
get out of
Or
lying
are
about
you
that?
part of a disinformation campaign?
The disinformation campaign? Where do I
don't think
sign
you guys are
up?
uneducated. I think you're wrongly educated.
I
Oh,
think the
James, that's a
problem
good way to
with
put it, baby.
What I've seen in the flat Earth crowd is that It's not that they're undereducated, but they, instead of looking at evidence and letting the evidence guide to where the ultimate conclusion is, they start with a conclusion and then they try to cherry pick out their pre-drawn conclusion.
I like
they cast
this
away
guy.
all the bits of evidence that actually is contrary to their belief system.
I think that you're very well educated as well as you are, Jim.
And certainly Ali is.
I mean, Ali's a fucking astrophysicist.
But more and more professionals
Notice how
are
the
coming
scientists
on board to
aren't
certainly
like
question
dumbing them
their
down, but the
reality.
flat
So
earthers
the
are
thing
like,
of it
these
is once
scientists with their
you start to
scientisty ways
really
in there.
take a hard look at the
Their
evidence,
scientism.
and you are unafraid of just standing for the truth, wherever that may lead you, people end up becoming flat earthers.
Where's the evidence? I need to see their photographic, videographic, their graphic
I'm hoping to be
evidence.
able to tell our side of the story from
Shelley,
the inside out.
give it
So
to
many
me.
times,
Give it
flat
to
earthers
me.
are depicted
Let's go.
from the outside in, and I want to be able to share.
Come
with
on,
others
Shelley. Jumping out of
empirical
planes.
data
How did you even do that?
proves the Earth is
How did
not
you
what
even do
we've been
that?
told.
Can you even jump out of a plane, or is that conspiracy?
So when I was 12 years old, I went to space camp, and I met Alan B.
Oh, that's
Shepard.
cool.
Nice.
Yep, and I wanted to be an astronaut, and I wanted to be the first woman to walk the moon. So for me, I'm a glober. I went into this completely wanting it to be true.
I'm also
and
a
my
glober.
husband told me, he saw this thing about the fake moon landing.
Okay.
And I was like, you're absolutely crazy. There's no way that the moon landings are fake.
Do you reckon they're still
And
married
then
today?
In 2010, my husband was killed, and so
Oh,
I never
that's
really
really sad. I'm
developed
sorry for saying that.
until around 2014 when Flat Earth kind of came back up. And that little voice inside my head
I feel bad for her
said,
now.
remember the fake moon landings? Remember when that was brought to my attention? And then I started really critically analyzing that. And I would say, just looking at that evidence, if they can lie about the moon landings, they can certainly lie about pictures and satellites and other things. And so I started going down that rabbit hole.
That's fair.
of
That's fair.
Studying. So that was my influence from my
How many
husband.
lies does it take to make a liar, right?
I mean, I think the moon landing is true. But that's
Wouldn't
fair.
say that I've changed my mind because my mind isn't set. NASA is solely designed to change my mind. It is, from its inception, from its discovery, has been a television program, it's been a space program to sell us on something that they've yet to actually show us. Show me a globe spinning.
What are you talking about?
clouds,
There's so
and a
many,
moon.
so much
Show me home.
evidence.
And I think I could shut up quite
Dude, go onto
easily. I think I
YouTube. We could
shut
look at
up.
videos of the Earth spinning around. Could we
timing of
not?
your conversions is interesting to me. 20 years ago, the flat Earth.
I don't
world
understand. He's like, show me. It's like,
was
there's a
tiny
plethora
and
for
insignificant.
you to look at,
Enter
darling.
The advent of the internet, YouTube, online discussion groups, all these new available places where you could find information about everything.
This is true that the evidence as you looked were not robust evidence. And the sources
I
you
like
used,
Ali.
they were
I
not
like science
reliable
Ali.
sources again. But my problem is that, and I like you guys that you are very skeptical, but at the same time,
That's
you are
true.
not skeptical about your belief system.
You think that that's my foundation for why I believe the Earth is flat, and I'm telling you, you're wrong. I have evidence that proves it's flat.
What
I
type
need
of
the evidence.
We're being misled. We're being deliberately misled
Where's the
by
evidence?
mainstream
Now,
media.
what's your evidence?
We see too far. We should not be able to see. I live in Dana Point.
Okay,
I can see San Clemente Island, which is 60 miles away.
so what?
Very high.
What do you mean, so what?
No, I'm on the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you see a ship which is going?
Yeah, let's talk about the ship that goes
Yes,
over the curvature
okay.
of the Earth. I love
So-
that. So, science has said that when I see a ship go out of my field of view, it's going over the curvature of the Earth, correct?
Yes.
But then I bring my P900 up, and guess what? I can
What's a
zoom it back
P900?
in.
The
So is
camera?
it going over the curvature of the Earth, or not all the time?
No, you don't see all the ship. The bottom part of the ship
Yes.
is hidden by the
At that
curvature.
distance, you shouldn't see the top
At
of it
all.
either.
If the Earth were truly flat, there would be
No, it
really
would be-
hardly any
what?
limit. You'd be able to stand at the top of the Empire State Building and look towards Chicago, a mere 1,000 miles away, and see the lights of Chicago at night.
No,
Why
no,
wouldn't
because
you?
you have an atmospheric disturbance.
Very thick.
What?
completely
What?
faulty
What?
logic.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's. This has got to be hard to do this video because
One of the big things
such
I do is
opposing
investigate
ideas.
extraordinary claims like flat Earth or ESP
my
or all
Lord.
sorts of.
I thought he was gonna say
The Earth is
ESPN.
undoubtedly a globe and not flat. This is
My brain hurts
well supported
too.
by gobs of science.
Scientific consensus is possible.
What is the quote?
I don't understand this.
All the
Consensus
scientists
is
were
possible.
running over there, dude. They're like,
Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
anything is possible.
I've got a tremendous issue with consensus and peer review. I've been spending a lot of time arguing with people that argue the other side.
I like Dan the Man.
And
I
found
don't know why.
surprisingly
I don't believe in
consensus
what he
always
believes
wins.
in, but I like Dan the Man.
It was
the
shocking
Waterman.
to me that the group with the majority has an incredible advantage.
Scientists.
As scientists, flat
Yes.
earthers, truthers,
Okay.
punks.
Yeah.
We're at an incredible disadvantage.
Let's
Agreed.
talk about scientific consensus for a second. You're never going to get 100% of anyone. There is scientific consensus on a global Earth. There's scientific consensus on evolution.
In science, the word theory is the highest level that you can give something
Oh,
because
I
it's
didn't
so
know
well
that.
supported.
I love this, dude.
That is a fact. It's
Dan the
not a
Waterman.
fact you would
He is a
call
bit
it. You know why?
humble.
Do you know why?
But he's
Because
giving me
in
the shits
science,
right
there's
now.
always room for improvement. There's always room
Oh.
to tweak and find better information.
They're
So that is how
right.
science works.
It gets better refined.
Making
over
my
time, as opposed to
undercarriage wet.
Flat Earth theory, which never gets refined. It simply is what it is.
New ideas have limited access to media and
Interesting.
limited exposure. Until we're in university curriculums, we will continue to appear on.
I don't know if you'll ever be in the U.S. or Alliance.
At many occasions, the idea it was not welcomed by the society.
Ali's right.
Einstein was one of them.
Galileo.
Galileo was
Galileo.
one of them. But
Galileo.
if your theory is
Galileo.
an authentic
Galileo.
one, and it can go through this hardship of scientific method, eventually will win.
I used to believe
Oh, this is stressful. I
that
feel
science
stressed. I
was
feel very,
after the
very
truth, right? We all just
stressed.
want to know what the truth is.
Yeah.
Science
Why is this guy
has been
a flat
trying so
earther? It doesn't
hard
make
to
sense to
divorce
me.
itself from the idea of a creator when God's intent was to create science to lead you to Him.
Maybe
Now,
it's
sometimes
more
things seem supernatural.
the
that
religious
we are able to
side.
explain later.
Yeah, that's
friends,
where
you can
he's
understand.
coming from.
But there are other things as well that are supernatural,
Like
that
ghosts.
go beyond the natural, that we can only explain through believing in a creator, right?
This is my big issue with scientific approach and non-scientific approach. You are absolutely right. In science, we are after the truth, hoping by each day we're getting closer and closer to the truth. We never get there. Never.
Well, I know that's true for you, and
No, that's a science. That's you guys. You think you do have the truth. Now let's look at the evidences, as you were mentioning.
Yes.
You do have the
Give
conclusion.
me-
Science doesn't work that way.
That's not true.
that's not what
That
we-
is not true.
Well, you are saying
No.
you are referring to Jesus, whom many billions of people do not believe, including
That's
myself.
true. Yeah, there we
More
go.
Billions do.
So what?
So who's right?
I like these people are awesome. Like I celebrate all these people that have come here today to kind of rough and tough with one another verbally. They're doing a good job of managing it because they're
I
so
kinda feel
opposite.
like I want to develop some of this stuff a little bit more. It feels high level, but I feel like there's so much that I haven't really even touched base
Yeah,
on.
I need to see the flat
certainly didn't
earthers,
think that
photos,
anybody was gonna- on either side was
images.
gonna flip.
I need their
there's still
scientific
time.
data. I need their
I hope
peer-reviewed,
you
studied
and Shelley.
science documents. Clap, 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 clap. He went on the wrong side. Flat earthers gonna be like, absolutely effing not. And the scientists like, let's
I mean,
go.
obviously, any organization can be wrong with certain things, and they
Love the
may
transparency.
have individuals that lie or deceive or something.
Spencer,
but as a
I would
general
marry you.
organization,
I would marry
they're
you.
looking for the truth.
Yeah, the idea that NASA and the government is lying to us about the shape of the Earth is the height of conspiracy theories.
Yeah, like why would they
In
lie about it?
order
Why?
For this to be true, the
Why?
literally hundreds of thousands of people who at some point over the last 50 or 60 years
Yeah, working for
would have to
NASA.
be somewhat complicit in this, and nobody spills the beans at all. Is on
Exactly.
the face of it, completely unbelievable.
Not one person's turning around being like, actually, it was flat the whole
Private does
time.
not know what the
Lol.
generals do. There's compartmentalization happening all the time.
Of course.
So it wouldn't be that far-fetched. Has the government ever lied to us is really
Yes,
the question.
yes, all the time. They lie to us all the time. Yes, of course.
Now we have NASA.gov, right? And absolutely, they're not lying about anything. They're completely
Sure,
transparent.
NASA's
Everything
lying
is
about
true.
some stuff, right?
Here. I'm sorry. This is a fallacy here. There is
Not a
difference.
fallacy.
I'm sure it is.
Go
See,
ahead.
you
Come
were
on, Ellie,
talking
let's go.
about a government. Now you're talking about an agency of the government.
NASA.gov.
But this agency
.gov.
is
It's the
scrutinized
website. It's the
by
site of the web.
thousands and thousands of scientists around the globe. You are
I
dealing
don't
with
deny-
smart
I
people.
don't deny that.
So it is very hard to do that. Once or twice, maybe, not for the all time.
Raise your hand if you think we went to the moon.
What is the proof? Hundreds and hundreds of pounds of moon rocks and dust, and we have
I
distributed
touched a
those
moon rock.
freely
I've
to PhD scientists
I've
around
touched
the
it.
world. And
I
not
did.
just have said,
I touched a
Been proven
moon
to be
rock.
fake.
And also and collected on the ice in Antarctica and in the Arctic as well. Those are collected. You don't have to go to the moon to get moon rocks. As a matter of fact, all U.S. Air Force photography prior to 1958 shows a flat Earth. Only NASA shows
That's
a
not
sphere.
true.
That's
What?
absolutely
What?
NASA's lying to you, my friend.
Wait, what?
Not
Huh?
myself.
is we
What?
have a
Huh?
laser retroreflector on the moon.
Yeah.
that we're using now.
We still use to this day.
It's sitting there.
You can find to the inch how far away the moon
No
is.
pictures of home.
That only is there. By the
No,
way,
there are
My
not.
question to you is why?
Where is the moon for them,
Why
then?
Would all these honest, hardworking people
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm so
perpetuate
confused.
this massive fraud? Why would they do this?
What's the benefit of doing
Okay, the
Yeah.
benefit of it. They
Why?
make $52 million a day. Follow the money.
No, the little
Follow
guy.
the money.
The little guy.
That's what they, when you
$52
say,
million a day.
okay,
Where?
And
On
NASA was
what?
not founded to prove the Earth was a globe. That had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the way they were
Well, if
founded.
you go and
Wait,
study
what's this
that-
$52 million Harry's? Where did this come from?
To put myself in the minds of the other side.
I think I could put my mindset. Yeah, I could believe that the Earth
I
was
used
flat.
to be a ball earth. Everything you say
Ball
right now is
earther.
completely what I used to agree to. So I
I'm a
completely
ball
understand where you're coming
earther.
from.
For me, I think the
I like to
correct
ball the
way to
earth.
do any kind of investigation or to examine things is by literally putting yourself in that mindset of the other person. So
I like this
do
guy.
do that. I disagree.
Look at
with
them,
your
they're both sitting
position,
there together,
but
the
I
flat
completely
earther and the
understand
scientist.
From your perspective, what you're
Gorgeous.
saying.
We're not drawing conclusions. We understand the mechanisms that made that car work. There is no theories and no disputed
But theory is the highest thing of
conclusions involved there.
scientific
It's not a
blah,
good
blah, blah, blah,
analogy.
blah, blah, blah,
Kind of
blah, blah,
the
blah, blah.
compromise that we have to experience being against the grain people.
There's
is
no
we have
problem
to
being against
literally
the grain.
sit in
I
a
love
group
that
and
for
decide
you.
whether or not we can afford to have an opinion, and that's tough.
I actually agree with you there because we're the same thing. I mean, I think skeptics go through this and atheists go through this. I don't believe in God. When I'm around religious people, I take a chance
That's true.
socially when I tell
Oh,
them
okay,
I'm
okay,
an
okay.
atheist.
That's
I know
great.
So how come you believe in God or Jesus? You haven't seen neither of them, right?
I've seen evidence, though.
Well, exactly. So we
Snap.
are looking for evidence. There are many, many other evidences for Earth not being flat.
Oh,
My point is
oh,
that
Ali,
these-
I feel like
these
nailed
experiments
it. That's a
clearly
very,
show that the
very
Earth
good
is
point.
glowing.
But it's a
You told me you
theoretical-
want the evidence. If you're saying that you look only to see something, then I dispute your belief system in God and Jesus or Jehovah or Buddha or anyone.
Who's this
Keep going back
Arstuda?
to religion as being
Because
our
it's coming
conclusion.
from there.
I have evidence
You
for
quoted
what I
at the
know.
beginning
She
of
pointed out
this.
physics.
You quoted Bible.
That's the only reason I know what the shape of the earth is, and you keep,
Well-
that's fallacy.
It's not fallacy.
It is a
They
Actually,
love
it is
using the
not
word fallacy.
It's a fallacy.
It's a fallacy. It's a fallacy. They love the word fallacy. They've been really throwing that around there, dude.
What I'm doing is the combination of string theory
This
and
person is
cosmology, so
so
we
smart.
try to understand
So,
what happened
so
during the
smart.
Big Bang, after the Big Bang, or
There might be
even
two Big Bangs
before the Big
now.
Bang.
There's lots of different theories.
Well, I hope I would be able, particularly to the young generation, to convince them that first they should think critically and don't believe anything. They shouldn't take anything for granted. Look at the evidences and examine those evidences and throw away claims that are not evidence-based.
Love that. I agree with that. We're wrapping it up.
Science, not to put it down, but when you're talking about rocket science, this is very difficult for the majority of people to understand, and it's designed that way. So in a lot of ways, we're getting that same
Okay, I
notion
understand that
from
connection.
Science, that only we
Science,
can interpret what
scientific
these numbers are.
theory
You
is
just
the
need to
new
trust us.
Bible.
But then when we actually do go and test some of their equations and they don't work,
But
does
religion and
that
science
beg
is
the
two different
question for
things,
us
so
to
that
go and
doesn't
test
really
it
work,
ourselves?
does it?
Absolutely.
I would say, one great thing about science is its predictability. Let's for a short moment, assume that your model, this flat Earth model, is correct.
So where's the
what does it
moon?
buy for us? What does it predict
Is the
for
moon
us?
inside the
So
disk
my
thing?
question for you guys would be, next time,
Where's the sun?
bring me something from your theory, your model, that you can predict something which the globe Earth model cannot predict. Then I would change my mind.
You got to do your own research. And I think what you'll find is that...
Well, I don't
you'll see
believe
that
anything you
the
said,
piece
though.
doesn't fit. And the only way you're going to do that is if you put your own eyeballs on it.
I don't blame people for being skeptical. I'm
Yeah,
skeptical
it's
about
good
a
to
lot
be
of different
skeptical.
things.
I love
applaud
that.
instinct in you. But you have to go and just not believing in something. Ask the hard questions. Ask what qualifies a YouTuber, a book author,
Yeah,
anywhere else
I agree
you're
with
getting
that
this
one.
information.
Get your information
What
from people that know what they're
qualifies
talking
them
about,
to make
that have a
wide-ranging
degree in science.
comments about the shape of the earth.
Shaking and baking and hugging.
I don't believe in a conspiracy theory invented by the people of the Pathy Nation. Oh my God!
I have not been persuaded, neither here nor there, about the Earth being flat whatsoever. Like, there's not one single part of me that's like, you know what? Earth being flat. There's just no way. I can't comprehend it. My brain's like, how? I don't know when she said $52 million a day. Like, what? Where's what? $52 million are coming from where? To who? To what? There's just no reason to lie about the Earth being round. And then the whole photographic evidence from 1958 beyond was depicting that the Earth was round. Before that it isn't. Why did they not bring photographic evidence and video evidence of all the things they believe? There's not one bit of evidence that supports a flat Earth in terms of science reasons. They said, the Earth landing is fake, which I know a lot of people do believe is fake. I don't think it is, but it's a conspiracy theory that's thrown out around there, right? And I'm just okay, that's fine if you don't believe they got there. I know it was a space race and everything. I'm okay, sure, let's say they did it in a studio. Okay, sure. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna sit here for 10 years. I don't believe you. I need to go have a nap and let my brain melt.
Because I just don't understand how this is even a conversation.